Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into the ongoing saga of Boeing's Starliner, which has faced yet another delay. If you caught our last video, you might remember we talked about the May 6th launch being postponed. Well, I hate to say it, but I was right again. The Starliner didn't launch as planned, and this time, there's more to the story. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all the latest space news. So, the Starliner was supposed to launch on May 6th. It was all set up on top of the Atlas V rocket at Launch Complex 41, ready to go with 2 astronauts on board. But just hours before liftoff, a problem with an oxygen relief valve in the Centaur stage was discovered. This issue showed up about 2 hours before launch, causing a delay in the fuel loading process. United Launch Alliance, ULA, the rocket provider, decided to cancel the mission and unload the fuel. The launch was rescheduled for today, but once again, it faced problems and was cancelled. This time, the culprit was a small helium leak in the spacecraft's service module. The service module, which houses the thrusters and launch abort engines, is a crucial part of the spacecraft. The leak was traced to a flange on a single reaction control system thruster. Although helium itself isn't dangerous, it's essential for the thruster's operation. To ensure the spacecraft and its crew are safe, Boeing has decided to do a thorough check of the leak. This means going back to the pre-launch setup and carefully inspecting each part to prevent future issues. I can't help but feel for the astronauts. They must be getting ready for launch more often than we recharge our phones, only to find out it's another no-go. Looking at the Starliner's development timeline, it's even more frustrating. Boeing started working on the Starliner back in 2010, with billions in funding from NASA to develop a crew transport vehicle for the International Space Station, ISS. However, the project has been plagued by delays and setbacks from the start. Originally, Boeing aimed to complete the Starliner by 2017 under a contract with NASA. But the first crewed mission has been repeatedly delayed due to various technical problems, including software issues, parachute system concerns, and other hardware malfunctions. For example, the first uncrewed test flight in 2019 faced major issues, with software errors preventing it from docking with the ISS. These delays have also been costly for Boeing, with the company absorbing hundreds of millions in charges against earnings for the Starliner program. When you're working in a competitive field, delays and setbacks can sometimes be understood. But when another company achieves the same goals faster and more efficiently, it makes those delays look worse. This is exactly what happened with SpaceX and Boeing. Both companies started developing their crew capsules around the same time, aiming to transport astronauts to the ISS. SpaceX launched its Crew Dragon for the first time in March 2019 on an uncrewed test flight, and by May 2020, they successfully sent astronauts into orbit. This achievement made Crew Dragon one of the safest and most reliable spacecraft, quickly becoming a key player in NASA's missions. Meanwhile, Boeing is still trying to catch up to where SpaceX's Dragon is now. Elon Musk highlighted this on Twitter, pointing out the differences in funding and completion time between the two companies. While Boeing received $4.2 billion to develop an astronaut capsule, SpaceX only got $2.6 billion and finished 4 years sooner. Musk's comment suggests that Boeing's development process might be hindered by too many non-technical managers. Looking back at NASA's contract decisions after the Space Shuttle's retirement, it's easy to see why Musk might be frustrated. Initially, Boeing seemed like the obvious choice due to its long history of aerospace achievements. Most engineers and specialists favored Boeing for the multi-billion-dollar contract to develop a crew capsule. However, a few voices advocated for SpaceX, and eventually, NASA decided to split the contract, giving Boeing $4.2 billion and SpaceX $2.6 billion. The results over the following years have shown SpaceX's success with Dragon, which first carried astronauts to the ISS nearly 4 years ago and has since completed 13 public and private missions to orbit. Its success has secured a total of 14 operational missions to the ISS for NASA. In contrast, Boeing's Starliner has struggled with delays and technical issues, leading to Boeing incurring $1.5 billion in charges related to these delays and overruns. If the contract had gone solely to Boeing, we might have considered all these delays as normal since there would be no SpaceX successes to compare against. This situation highlights the importance of having multiple options in critical industries like space travel. Competition drives innovation and often leads to better outcomes. Besides Boeing and SpaceX, NASA also has another option, the Dream Chaser. The Dream Chaser is a reusable spacecraft designed to transport cargo and potentially crew to the ISS. Unlike traditional capsules, the Dream Chaser is a spaceplane that can land on conventional runways, offering a unique approach to space missions. Its design focuses on safety and reusability, which helps reduce the cost of access to space. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that some of the recent Starliner delays also involve United Launch Alliance, as their rocket is responsible for launching the spacecraft. ULA has been facing its own challenges, with rumors of financial struggles and speculation that Jeff Bezos might be interested in buying the company. Only time will tell if these rumors are true. That's all for today's update. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.